What up, dude? We're standing on top of the world. I'm gonna try to look into the camera when I do this, because I usually am looking over here, which is where I am. I need to look at the camera. So I'm up hiking, just kind of behind my house. And man, this is why I love Utah, because this is my backyard. And I can do whatever I want up here. Well, you know, to the legal extent. Let me flip the camera around and show you a little something. So apparently I can't flip the camera around while I'm recording, so I'll just kind of show it to you in the background here. So down here, right there, there are a bunch of deer. I haven't counted how many there are, but there are quite a bit actually. And so I'll tell you a story. So one time I was hiking up here just on my lonesome, and I came over the next ridge. So I'm over, so, you know, this is where I am. And I came over this ridge here, over to the other side, and I saw upwards of, I think 43 deer, all in one area. And they just like ran away once they saw me. So this area, they just love it up here. It's just, I don't know. And this time of year, they'll start to get closer and closer to the road and eat people's gardens, you know, like mine. So that's annoying, or my dad's. We don't do our garden very much anymore because they come down and, you know, every year and eat it all. So right now I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I see 6 down there, maybe 5. That might be a piece of snow, a bit of snow, but otherwise, so that's kind of interesting. So anyway, so I'm just hiking around and doing a little bit of trail running, which is, like you said, pretty fucking awesome. It's way more fun to do it on a deer trail like this because you feel like you're flying. It's really cool. It feels really cool because you jump and it feels like you're jumping really high and you get like huge amounts of air. Anyway, it's just kind of cool. So that's what I'm doing today. Just kind of walking around, hiking. So it was a beautiful day today. It was like 60 something degrees. 60, I think is what it was. 60 degrees. So I took my bike to work. I like basically got home. I was like, all right, I'm going hiking, and here I am. This is a place that my friend Patrick and I have hiked a lot of times in our day. So it's just fun to kind of come back here and reminisce almost. So I'll probably send him this video just because I think he'll be able to appreciate it. Fortunately, he doesn't live in the Salt Lake Valley now. He lives up in Logan, so that sucks. But you know, he's enjoying it up there, and that's all that really matters. And he's successful up there, especially that's also quite important. But yeah, so I also wanted to test out my new hat and my new shoes. So here I am doing that. So yeah, let's just walk around and let's just talk. Let's just hang out. Unfortunately, I don't have my selfie stick up here. I didn't really think about bringing any of that stuff or my GoPro. So the view is going to be a little bit in your face. But and it might be bouncy, but you know, there's only so much you can do. And even like people who are really successful with vlogging bounce their cameras around. So, you know, I don't really care. Plus, this is only really for me. Like, it's only, I mean, obviously I do it for everyone, but it's mostly for me. Check out, it's coming over the mountain up there. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. No, apparently we cannot. The moon. Kind of cool. Anyway, so yeah, I'll tell you some stories about up here. So Patrick and I, like I said, we hike up here all the time ever since we were little, and every time we get up a little bit higher. Right now I'm not too high up because it's going to get dark soon, and I didn't bring any water, and I basically just wanted to come up and hang out. But you know, so we have gone up to where the moon is. I mean, obviously we haven't gone that far, but we've been up, well, to be quite honest, we've been to the top of Twin Peaks, which if I just kept going this way, I would eventually hit Twin Peaks. And from Twin Peaks you can go into Little Cottonwood Canyon, which is where Alta is, and Snowbird, and you can also go into Big Cottonwood Canyon, which is just a cool thing to know that you can do that. So I'm just kind of like walking back and forth too, which is weird. But anyway, so yeah, when we hike, every time we'd come up here, we'd try to get up a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. And we just play around up here. We'd chase deer, we'd run, and we'd try to find arrows. A lot of the times you'll find like arrows stuck in the tree or in the bush, or whatever, like, but they're these really nice like carbon fiber arrows with those like really gnarly tips. Post a picture right here. And so we'd go and find those and then like shoot them up in the air and like dodge them as they're coming back down. So we'd lay down in the dirt. We'd lay down in the dirt and shoot an arrow straight up, and it we had like a 5-pound bow, so it wasn't like that, like they wouldn't go that high, but I mean they sure would have hurt us especially the ones with the sharp ends, because they had razor blades. They had razor blades. So we'd shoot them up. They'd go all the way up, turn around, and come back down, and we'd just stay there, and whoever had the biggest balls would win. I guess it wasn't really a competition. It was more just like us being stupid kids. So who cares? Anyway, so we'd run around up here and try to find stuff and just play, and just hiking around here just brings back some really fun memories. And I remember especially one time we were hiking around. We must have been 8 or 10 years old, something like that. And we found like a manhole cover. Maybe it's the manhole cover they launched into space, which is an interesting thing. I'll tell you about in a second. So if you don't know, so we found like I don't know if it was actually a manhole cover, but it was a manhole cover, like piece of metal, like a manhole cover sized piece of metal. And we basically just like tipped it on its side and rolled it down this bitch, and it started going so fast. We were like actually getting a little bit nervous because we thought it would not stop and like just go straight into someone's like front door or back door, I guess. And it ended up hitting like a rock and then like twisting and spinning out of control and then just like sliding like 50 feet. But I mean, like, this is a steep hill, okay? Like, it would be very hard to hike up this without using your hands. It could be done probably, but especially if you zigzag. But if you're going just straight up it, fuck me, I think I left my headlights on. Which my car is right there-ish. It's kind of hard to see because it's dark. It's actually there. Anyway, so yeah, that hit like a piece of like a big stone and like spiraled out of control. But man, it would have done some serious damage. And we were like I said, 8 or 10 years old, and so and we would have just booked out of here. I mean, that's what's funny about this area. I mean, so technically, you're not supposed to come up this certain way. It's trespassing. Right now, I'm on U.S. Forest property, so I'm not trespassing at this point. But down there, there's one way to get in, and you can and it's considered trespassing. And I'm like, what are they gonna do? Like, they're gonna hike up after me? Okay, well, I've got a half-hour head start on them, and I know this area, so they're not catching me. Is basically what I'm trying to say. So, whew! I just love sprinting down these little deer trails. It's so much fun because they go up and down and side to side, and I'm bouncing my. Hopefully, I'm trying to. Well, who cares? Yeah, they go up and down, and you jump from one peak to the trough, I guess, to the lower part, and hike up to that peak, and then jump off again, and you feel like you're flying. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. Anyway, I can continue with. So So I think they call it the atomic manhole cover. I think that's the official. Either way, so Cody's lab did a video on the atomic manhole cover, which I find really interesting because he actually did a little experiment where I think he used copper and steel. Maybe he just used copper or maybe can't remember if he used a couple of things. Either way, so yeah, and he basically simulated what the atomic manhole cover would have done. So let me tell you about that. So the atomic manhole cover was a thing way back in, I think, the 40s or 50s or something like that. So before the real space race, but you shouldn't quote me on that because I don't know. Just basically talking about it because I think it's cool. So the atomic manhole cover, basically they had a nuclear warhead or something of the sort, a very powerful weapon, bomb, basically like down in the hole, and they basically just put a piece of metal on the top of the hole, and they launched the nuclear whatever it was, or they detonated the explosive, and the atomic manhole, or the manhole cover, blasted off, and it was only captured in one frame, and I think they were capturing it, so if it only showed in one frame, I think you can calculate that it would have been flying at a certain speed, and which would have been escape velocity. It would have gone fast enough to go out through the atmosphere and gone probably would be in orbit in the Earth, but who knows. Either way, so they launched it into space. Well, they launched it, and the theory is maybe it turned into a cone shape, and you know, like the shape of a bullet, and flew right through the atmosphere and didn't vaporize immediately. And then obviously the counter argument to that is it just blew apart basically, or vaporized as it went through the atmosphere because it didn't have any heat shielding, and there would have been too much surface area, would have slowed down basically. So I like to believe that it made that little cone shape and flew through the atmosphere, and that would mean the United States was the first was the first country to ever launch anything into space. And take that, Russia. So either way, I think the history behind the space race is really interesting. I've done, I think, 2 papers on the space race, Cuban Missile Crisis, and I don't know. It's just an interesting. It's just kind of shows you that like governments and whole countries just act like children sometimes. You know, like it surprises me that, like, especially with Trump and North Korea, and I don't know. It's just a big joke to me, and I don't really care. Either way, I'm happy with what I'm doing, and as long as they don't care about what I do, which is this kind of stuff, ride my bike and hike and enjoy the great outdoors, that's all that matters. So I guess it's getting dark now, so I think I'll probably start heading down. I'm just kind of walking around on this little weird poker outer thingy. Yeah, that's the geological word for it. So yeah, catch you next time. Peace out.